What's up, guys? This punk guy here, your punk with the palette. Welcome back for another art video. This time we're going to do something completely different. This time I'm very excited. I got this 12-piece Copic sketch marker grayscale set. These are super fun to use. I do a lot of Copic Marker artwork as well too. You guys haven't seen it in these videos, so I wanted to share with you guys. I also got these skin tone sketch markers, and I'm very excited to open these up. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to be drawing, but I'm just going to be using these in the video, and we'll see as it progresses and what I draw, and get to see another type of art that I like to do.
Hey guys, so like I said, this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm doing a voiceover. This is my first time, so bear with me, and I hope you guys like it. I just wanted to walk you through the process of this video. So right here you can see I'm building the construction lines for a character. It was really late at night. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I thought I would do a Master of the Universe character. Drawing Hordak. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but he's a She-Ra villain from the 80s. I really like the animation from then. You don't really see animation like that anymore. Everything's kind of like Adventure Time, really basic and simple. These are a little more complex. Reminds me of the 90s superheroes that I grew up with. So it was really late at night, and I was having a little bit of a hard time with my proportions. So it took me a couple times to really get this figure right. But I think it came out pretty good in the end. So now you can see I'm starting to ink it. And I'm using a micron pen first of all. And it was a 0.8. And as you can see, I'm just getting a basic coverage over it, because I'm going to let the Copic markers do all the cover. And then I'll probably go back in with an ink brush pen and do thicker lines and do all the varied lines. So I really wanted to put the staff in it, but I wanted to have the emblem in it, but that wasn't going to happen. So I was debating whether or not I should put it in, so I just decided to leave it in. And now you can see me erasing all my lines from the pencil, and I'm going to start coloring now. So here, guys, is the inking, the quick inking. I just want to open these up real quick. I'm very excited to try all these out. Here they all are. Let's get to some coloring. So after clumsily opening up those Copic sketch markers, I start to put a base color down, a C1. And from my lightest, then I go into my darkest, and which is a C10. And I'm only really working on the face right now, trying to get the colors right, because it's going to really let me know what to put in for the rest of the body with the face. Obviously the eyes are going to be left white so they pop out, and the mouth is going to be dark. And behind the hood I go from like a C10 to a C7 to I think like a C4, I think. And as you can see, I get a real smooth blend with that. So now I'm finishing up the head part of the body. And of course I'll always go back and tweak it, but now it's time to work on his armor. And the tricky thing about the armor is it's the darkest part of his suit, that and his shaggy barbarian underwear thing that he's got on. But instead of working from like a C1 to a C4, I start darker. I start from like a C6 and I move into a C9. I didn't put C10 because C10 is the darkest, and I just wanted to have that as a go-to just in case I wanted to go a little bit darker. So as you can see, I'm using 3 colors here and getting a really smooth blend on this. And of course his little Hordak sign is gonna stand out, and I'm probably gonna put like a 00 and like a C1 at the most on it. So like I said, I'm doing the same thing again, putting in my darkest blacks where the shadows are going to be. These are C10s, and I've always known that these are going to be the darkest parts too. So it makes it easy for me to know where I'm gonna lay those colors down. So like I said, I've always been a huge Masters of the Universe fan. That probably dates me on how old I am. But all these characters have really cool designs, and the villains especially look really badass. You wouldn't think that a cartoon like She-Ra has like the best conceptual, like, creative characters on there, but they do. And I've always been affinitive to Hordak too. I've painted Hordak, but I've never really drawn him, so this is really my first go at it. Now you can see I worked on the belt and I'm just tweaking it here and there. I'm kind of tweaking everything here and there as I go along. So one thing I like are these hairy barbarian underwears that they wear. As a kid, you don't really think much about it. You think it's kind of cool, but as an adult, when you see people cosplay in these outfits, it's pretty hilarious. But anyway, it's the same technique. You just layer. You just go from lightest to darkest, and then you just tweak and tweak until you find something you like. Now, I know some people, when they use these markers, they don't really like blend them. As you can see, like especially with the legs, I put down one color and then put down a darker color. And that's a style if you like that, which is cool. I like that too. But I just really like to get a smooth blend. I know I keep saying that over and over again. But really, that's why I get these markers, because you can't do that with any other kind. Maybe Prismacolors, but I've never really dealt with that. So now I'm close to the end right now, and it's just really tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Getting every color right, filling in the last little bits. Seeing how far I can make the contrast go from light to dark in certain areas. And now I have my brush pen out and I'm putting in my blacks. I normally put in a lot heavier blacks into my art because it really pops, but I was really keeping the hatching and the extra line art down to a minimal because I thought the piece stood out for itself really well. And of course I put in a background, but I don't think I ended up filming the background. I just kind of, you know, took a step back after I finished it and said, you know what, this needs a little something extra just to make it pop. And I put some simple like lightning patterns down in the background because I didn't want it to take away from the actual picture. I just knew that it needed something else. Anyway, now I'm with the liner pen again. This isn't a micron, but this is just a regular ink pen that I bought, and it does the job really well. Just putting in little marks here and there, hatching and little tweaks and stuff like that, making things really, really pop. And for the last part to tweak it, I used a white gel pen to put in highlights. Now, since there weren't a lot of heavy blacks, there weren't a lot of places to put it, but you know, just places here and there. And I guess I did end up filming the lightning part, so you can see that. And I think it came out pretty good.
Alright, now we got these Copic skin tone sketch colors, so let's have a little fun with these. Break these open, and yeah, let's get to work.
So of course I drew She-Ra. It only made sense since I drew Hordak. I had a lot of other heroes to draw from in the Masters of the Universe mythology, but I just decided to go with She-Ra because she was Hordak's arch enemy. And I think the basic line drawing came out pretty good. I didn't show any of the line drawing or the construction of the character because basically I didn't notice when I was recording that my giant head was in the way of the camera for most of it. And I wanted to keep this video short on time. I originally planned this video to be about 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long, and I kind of made it around that time, so I'm glad I did that. Anyway, you can see I started out with a C00 in this set, and then I moved up to a C11. I've never really used a full, complete sketch skin tones before. This is the first time, and I really liked them. I really got to enjoy the variety I got to get out of them. As you can see to the left, I have a little practice sheet to practice those colors on. So I'm just going from lightest to darkest, just like I did with the grayscales, going from the C00 to the the E13, I believe, and the very, very darkest was the E15. I never even used the E18, which for the next character I probably will. But yeah, just putting your darkest where they need to go, and then your highlights where they need to go. So now I went back to the grayscale for her costume, because her costume is white. I didn't go anything past an E4, maybe an E5 for the very darkest parts. And now you can see I'm moving on to her lips, and I always put a crimson red down for her lips because it's the most obvious choice. So here's a little bit of an embarrassing little tip for you guys if you guys want to know how to color women's faces. Google women's contour diagrams or graphs, and they show you where to highlight and where to contour at, and that's pretty much what I use if I ever get stuck drawing a woman's face, or where to put the highlights at. And I do that with most of my pinup stuff as well. In fact, I have a couple printouts of a couple different versions just because it helps me with different angles and stuff like that. Now you can't really see, but for the skin tone I also put an R20, which is a pink, and I put it on certain parts of her body, mostly where like the blood vessels are closest to the skin, where it's the warmest on her body, so like a little bit of the thigh, the upper chest, on the cheeks of course, and it really makes it pop. And like I said, it's hard to see on here, but when you see the close-up, it really makes a difference on how her body lays. It gives it a real 3-dimension to it. And now you can see I'm doing the crown. And of course I used a gold Copic marker, and I used a brown with it to give it a shadow. But it's really going to make a difference when I put the black ink in over it, because whenever you put the black next to the white, that really is what makes it look like a gold color, and makes it look like a gold, what's the word I'm looking for, a gold texture. So now it's just about tweaking, putting in your darkest darks, and, you know, making sure all your colors are correct. Now I got an ink brush out, and I'm going back over with thicker lines to give it line variation to make it really stand out. And as you can see, the black over the gold makes it really pop. And, you know, now I'm just putting in hairlines and little things here and there to make it stand out. So now you can see I'm finishing up the ink brush, and I'm just going back with the micron pen and the ink brush and putting in little hatch marks. Now for women, you don't really need to put in a whole lot. You kind of just let the colors pop for themselves, and that's what really makes them look beautiful. If you overdo it, then, you know, it doesn't really work. But anyway, now I'm going in with the white gel pen and putting in highlights like in the eyes and stuff like that. I should have put one in the lips, which I'll do after this video is made. So that's pretty much it. I just put in a blue background and then signed it. Alright guys, here are the two finished products. One is the color skin tones that I did, and the other one is the grayscale. Since I did Hordak, I thought I might as well do She-Ra to make a matching sets. That's it. These were a lot of fun to do. And if you check out my website, thispunkguiart.com, you'll see I do a lot more of this kind of illustration art. So thanks for watching, guys. This was a lot of fun to do. This is not normally the type of video that I usually make, but I thought I would change it up a little bit to show these Copic markers that I really love enjoying. And if you like this kind of artwork, go to my website, thispunkguiart, or go to my Instagram, thispunkguy, and see more stuff like this. That's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.